And welcome to finally a new edition of On Location with Mike Strito. I'm Mike Strito. Been a long time. I got a great show today. I got the producer, director of the next FAB4 Music Festival. He's been on my show before. We've been partners, best friends, and all that. And without further ado, I'm going to say hello to Charles.
Hey, Mike.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me back.
It's been a while.
Great to be back.
Why wasn't there a show last year?
So
after you built it up to,
Yeah, well, we did it a few years. We did it for 4 or 5 years in Danbury.
Right.
And called it Danbury Fields Forever.
Right.
And didn't get really all that much support from Danbury.
Right.
And we thought, all right, it ran its course. We're never going to really draw big crowds. And I thought, it's done.
Yeah.
Put it to bed. It was nice while it lasted. But then this year was what? The 50th anniversary of Sgt. Pepper. I couldn't let that go by.
Yeah.
And so we found a location which we think is going to be amazing. And that's, of course, the Toyota Oakdale Theater. And I thought, well, let's go for it. Let's do it big. Let's do it better. Double the amount of bands. Great venue. And having it right pretty much in the same month as the 50th anniversary of Sgt. Pepper. So we're bringing it back and bringing it back bigger and better.
Where was Sgt. Pepper with you? Was it like your favorite album, The Beatles, or where did it,
Yeah. So like you, I was a kid when it came out.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I remember going to the record store and picking it up. And this is the new Beatles album. And how can I not grab it? How can I not buy it? Yeah. And I didn't because it didn't have a hit on it. Mm-hmm. I looked at these songs, and these songs are foreign to me. And I'm listening to AM radio. I'm in the Bronx. Yeah. I'm listening to ABC and WOR and WMCA and those great radio stations, and sort of swaying towards the Monkees. At that time, the Monkees.
Headquarters or something.
Yeah, it was the first Monkees album, and more of the Monkees and Headquarters were really taking over for me. So for that little period, I didn't stop loving the Beatles, but I think I was buying more Monkey records, as was most of the world, than Pepper. And it wasn't until years later that I think I bought Mystery Tour and Yellow Sub before I ever got Pepper.
Wow. And now Penny Lane, us Beatle people know Penny Lane and Strawberry Fields were supposed to be on that album, and they weren't. Now, Bill Lasted just told me recently that the album's coming back out, and they're going to finally put Penny Lane and Strawberry Fields on there. So that's pretty wild. So,
yeah. For the 50th anniversary, I guess they're releasing a deluxe edition, a reissue, and it's going to have those on it, and it's going to also have other versions of the songs, working versions and outtakes. So it's going to be a pretty special edition. And, if you're not going to do it in the 50th anniversary, when are you going to do the special stuff? Right. So, it makes a lot of sense.
So I'm going to let you talk about it. So tell us a little bit about what's going to be here. I know you got one of the Rascals, which was my favorite American group of all time, and you got to be friendly with Gene and everything else. So I'm going to let you grab the ball from here.
Well, unlike the Beatle conventions you and I used to do in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, those were very memorabilia was the main thing, and the special guests and the films and all that. And with the music festival, it's all about the music. Right. That's the main thing. But we always wanted one guest to come and be representative of the 60s. As you know, in the past, we had one of the members of the Herman's Hermits. We had one of the members of the Animals.
Right.
Every year we try to have a special guest. And this year we thought, well, who was big in 1967? Who was a contemporary of the Beatles, but who was American? We brought in Gene Cornish, who's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and who's a member of the Rascals. Who, Beatle fans love the Rascals, and Rascal fans seem to love the Beatles.
Well, as you know, their manager, who passed, who was friendly, we miss him, we love him. He also co-produced Shea Stadium, or
he presented Shea Stadium and presented the Rascals. He was their manager, and we're talking about Sid Bernstein. God rest his soul. We loved him. So there's obviously all those tie-ins. So in addition to our very special guest who'll be there to sign autographs and meet fans and take pictures, there's 20 bands. I mean, this is insane. 10 bands are going to be indoors under the dome at the Oakdale, and then 10 bands.
And the dome is the old in the round. Is that
correct?
Right?
Yeah. And that's where a lot of the concerts are being held. So not in the part where the seating is, but inside the dome. And then another 10 acts, the other half, are going to be outside on the patio. keeping that festival feeling alive. So the both stages are going to be packed with music, pretty much nonstop music. And we've never had that many before. In addition, there's going to be food trucks, a lot of great, delicious food, a lot of different varieties. There's going to be memorabilia exhibitors and attractions for people who want to buy and look over collectibles, or they want to bring their own items and see what they're worth. That's all going to be there. So it's really the whole gamut of stuff. We have, for the first time ever, a Monkees tribute band playing.
Yeah. Now they're from what, Jersey or Pennsylvania?
They're actually from Rhode Island.
Okay.
And then we also have one of the solo artists, Scott, who used to be in a group called the Blue Meanies, who are a Monkees tribute band.
Right.
And there's one other Monkees connection, and that's a local guy from Clinton, Rich Dart, who's the drummer of the Monkees touring band, and is also in a band.
Nice guy.
He's a great guy, and he's also in a band, Al Ferrante's. One of the bands who's doing Beatles, he's the drummer for that band. They're called the Country Gentlemen, named after George's guitar.
George's guitar. Like my band's name.
I was going to say, like the Hofners, who were named after Paul McCartney's bass.
Yeah,
so that leads us into, some of the, there's so many great bands, but of course your band, the Hofners, are the headliners, and you're going to be doing a Sgt. Pepper set as pretty much the climax, as the ending of the whole event. You're the last band playing, and you'll be doing that in your Pepper outfits, which are very exciting.
Yeah, we basically, for the longest time, real quick here, always just did, we'll say from 62, 63 to 66. And obviously we wore the black suits, the Ed Sullivan look, and then the Shea Stadium jacket. So my guys especially were very excited to be doing this. This was a something that we've been trying to get to. So it was interesting, and we just did a performance in Brantford that went really, really, really well, and we did good out of the gate. And it was interesting and weird wearing these outfits for me. Anyways, it's been a long time, but.
Well, for Hofner's fans who know you as that touring years band and know that you've been doing the 1964, 65, 66 stuff for all these years, it's going to be a special treat getting them to see you in the Sgt. Pepper outfits, mustaches, and the whole gamut. Yeah, that's exciting.
Now, about some of the groups. Now, matter of fact, I'm going to bring him up again. Bill Lass. Bill is also a dealer that'll be at the show. But Bill asked me today. He says, "So all 19 or all 20 bands are bands?" And I said, no, some are singles.
Some solos.
Some are duos.
Some duos, some trios.
Yeah.
Most of them are the 4 and 5 piece, like a normal Beatle tribute band. But I think one, number 9, might be 7 or 8 guys.
Yeah, that's a big,
there's a lot of them.
Big
Yeah. And they're all doing different stuff. That's what's really great.
Yeah.
Some are doing early stuff. Some are doing solo stuff. A few of the bands are mixing and matching. You're doing all of Pepper. Another group is doing all of Mystery Tour. And I think one other is doing all of Revolver. So that's really exciting. Those kind of the headline bands, besides yourself, the group Mystery Tour.
Well,
you got
dress-up
bands.
You got 3 dress-up groups. Mystery Tour, Penny Lane.
And Penny Lane, yeah.
And obviously
yourselves.
Right.
3 dress-up bands. So 2 of the acts, Dramatic Turn and Corporation T-Shirt, aren't your regular Beatle bands, obviously. One of them is a bunch of kids who I know as friends. Mm-hmm. They're from the Stratford, Trumbull, Fairfield area, and they just vied for it. They begged to do it. They're selling tickets for it. They're really psyched for it. The other one, Corporation T-Shirt, they're a group of musicians. They get together every Sunday and just practice Beatles songs. And they've been wanting to do this a few years. So some bands are actually, been trying to get in for a few years, and finally we say yes. Other bands, have been with us in the past. We know their reputation. One group, Fools on the Hill, played a bunch of times. Now 2 of their members are coming out as a duo. And then some of the bands we've approached and said, all right, it's about time you've played the convention. You've never done it. So it's a mix of people, bands who we've had in the past, who have wanted to play and never have, and groups that are just givens, like, the Hofners. It's automatic. There's no question mark. If you say you're ready, you want to play, you're on. And there's a bunch of those.
I felt bad that Tim Root had to back out. I was looking forward. I got close to Tim, and I've done some things with Tim, not with the Hofners, and he was excited about it, but he actually committed to working with Jerry.
Yeah, Timmy's one of the original members of the Needles.
Right.
and he's currently in another band who played with us as well. And he had said that he would do the show and couldn't do it. And we had a bunch of bands that were just chomping at the bit, hoping that someone's going to cancel out. He canceled out, and a Connecticut band called Double the Dial jumped right in. They're putting it all over Facebook, and they're real good in social media. So, for the event itself, it might have been a blessing in a way. But, yeah, we wish Tim could have done, because he was doing an all-Lennon set, which would have been great. Wayne Cabral is doing something similar. He's from the group The Onos. Who do nothing but solo stuff, rare material. They're doing a Ruddle song.
Yeah, that's something.
A Utopia song.
A Ruddle song. I always hope that somebody will do a Badfinger song or a Raspberry song. Something
Beatlesque.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
we always welcome that.
So people want to go to this. They can go to your site. Call you up. You want to give a number?
Oh yeah, please. Number's 203-795-4737 for information. There's also two websites. One is the Oakdale Theater, which is oakdale.com, or our Beatles website, which has all the information on the festival, and that's www.FAB4, the number 4, FAB4musicfestival.com. And it's got all the bands. It shows, what they look like, what they're going to be doing. It's got a lot of great links. There's got FAQs, which is frequently asked questions. Which hotel could we stay at if we want to stay over, all that stuff. And that's all over there. And the phone number, again, if they want to ask us directly and don't want to go to the website, is 203-795-4737.
I got to tell you something. I was worried that when you didn't do it last year and then you wanted to pick it up, after you somewhat built it up, I was concerned for you as a friend, but because of the 50th anniversary with Pepper, I think, that would lift this. And I like who you got as a guest and all that. I mean, one thing I got to say, and he'll tell you this, is that when he does these things, I try to make him a convention. Let's get more guests. Let's get more dealers. And, I mean, and everything else. But, yeah. So.
Well, we want to bring in the generations. We want to bring parents with their kids. We want to bring grandparents with their kids, with their grandkids. I think it's all about the music. Someone wants to come in and come together. They want to hear Yellow Submarine. They want to hear She Loves You. If they go and buy a souvenir, great. But, that's what it's all about.
So what else could you tell the listeners, the viewers, about this show that we haven't brought up?
Right. Well, we have our MC is Ken Michaels, who has a radio show on WNHU and has a syndicated radio. He's been doing that for many years.
Right.
We haven't decided if he's going to be inside or outside, if I'm going to do some MCing or not. I'm not sure yet. We're putting together a beautiful program for the event. We've never had a 20-page program. And along with, listing all the bands and the times and everything else, we're also going to have ads for my Beatles tour to Liverpool, which I do every summer.
I want to get into that too.
The Vegas trip, which we do, every February.
What do you call Love or something?
The Weekend of Love, yeah. There's just so many great things that we do besides the Beatles Music Festival for Beatle fans. So that's pretty much another way to get the word out for it.
So let's talk about that. So now you've been doing, you're like an ambassador in Liverpool now or something? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a great
feeling.
I find
that, and you've been doing this for how long now?
Well, I think you were in Liverpool before I ever was, but we've been doing the tour since 1983.
Wow.
Yeah, about 34 years of bringing people to London and Liverpool on our Magical History Tour. And we do that every August, and we're doing it again this August. And then every winter in February.
Around my birthday or George's birthday.
Exactly. Yeah. We do the Weekend of Love, and we go to the show Love, and we do whatever Beatle events are there for a weekend. And that's grown into a nice little get-together for people who kind of go to all our events. They either come to the festivals or they come to Liverpool with us. Right. And now that gives them one more Beatle thing to do that's, pretty special.
You would never put you on the spot here. You would never think about doing a convention again. No, it's just too much. Or I know this is close. We're adding on to it.
Yeah. I don't know. Who knows? You never say never. If if we get a sponsor and says, "Hey, we'd like you to do a convention, we'll produce it. You just host it and present it." Sure, I would, but I don't see it. I think it's past its time.
Yeah. So you're gonna have food vendor. Are you gonna have a lot of food, like food trucks outside in the parking lot?
Yes, we'll have food trucks outside in the parking lot. We'll have food vendors inside. We're gonna have all the memorabilia people, and we're gonna have more than you think. So you're gonna be pleased. And they're gonna have everything from the 50-cent buttons right up to valuable autographs, right up to great collectibles. We'll have Gene Cornish, of course, of the Rascals, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame special guest, and he'll be there the whole time. And you don't forget, this is going from 1 o'clock till 10 p.m. That's something we didn't mention. If someone wants to come at 1 o'clock and enjoy the whole day, they can. If they get off work, they work or they go away or do something on that Saturday, June 10th, they could come at 8 o'clock. They'll still see bands. They could come at 9 o'clock and still see the Hofner Show. Everything will still be there, so you could come and go as you please throughout the day. And that's the great thing of a festival. Like a convention. It's not a concert. It's a concert plus. It's a concert plus a record show. It's a concert plus a meet and greet. It's everything combined, and all those things make it a great event. June 10th. We didn't say that right off the bat, right?
June 10th. Also, it's okay for people with their phones to shoot anything there or tape or take pictures. I've been in some productions where they didn't want people taking photos, so they could take
we welcome it.
all they want and
put it on Facebook.
And they could also
share it with friends.
If they want to talk to the bands or get an autograph or something signed.
100%. It's complete access. No one is, please, no autographs, nothing like that. Complete access. And you're gonna find that people will gravitate towards the younger bands that maybe are playing the rockier stuff. You're gonna find some people who just love the dress up bands, and then there's the real obscure people who love the obscure stuff. Whoa, that's a McCartney song I haven't heard since I played the album. And there's something for everyone, and I think that's what really makes it a little special. When you go see a tribute band like yourself or a Beatlemania group, and there's tons of us out there, right? You're going to see the show, and you may see just the early stuff. You may see beginning right through Abbey Road. At a festival like this, you are going to get every single aspect of Beatledom, of Beatles music. You're going to get the stuff they did before they were famous with Pete Best. You're going to get the early hits. You're going to get the middle period and some deep album cuts. You're going to get solo things. And then, like you mentioned before, you're going to get the Beatlesque, Beatle-ish, non-Beatle things that fit the format. The Utopia, the Ruddles, the Badfingers.
Raspberries.
Monkeys. Monkeys, too. It's going to be great. And I wonder, we don't know yet, if Gene Cornish or the Rascals is going to surprise us and actually jump on stage with some of the bands and play.
That'd be cool.
We think so, but we can't say officially.
They had a little bit of a hit, as the Beatles did, with a song called Slow Down. So he knows that one there, too. So that's pretty cool. So, so if people want to get in touch with you to do with your trips to England and obviously to Vegas in February, is there a certain site they should go to, or Facebook, or what would they do?
So they can go to the website liverpooltours.com, www.liverpooltours.com, which has all the information on our trip to England, where we go to London and Liverpool. It also has the information on our Vegas Weekend of Love, which we do in February. And if the Hofners or any of the Beatle bands do a dinner dance party, that's where it is. That's where it's always posted along with Facebook. But if they ever want to call and just, once a month, hey, what's going on, Beatles? They can call the 203-795-4737. I'll say it again. Call me, 203-795-4737. I'll answer any Beatle questions you have. I'll do that even if someone has like an album and they want to know if it's valuable, or they found something in their basement or in their attic.
It's funny you bring that up, not to cut you, because people said to me, could I bring something in there? And there's people there that would know. I said, if Charles doesn't know, Bill Last would know. You could bring it. He'll appraise it, whatever, So that's another thing you might want to do. You're welcome to do that, as long as you're saying it's okay.
It's definitely okay. Some of the exhibitors or the dealers or the fans might buy it on the spot. Someone brings a collectible and, they're holding it around. My guess is if they want to sell it, they're going to sell it. There's always a buyer for something.
And not to start rumors, but you never know who shows up at these things. Charles knows a lot of people in the Beatle world that live in New Jersey and the tri-state, New York.
No,
and
don't give away any secrets here.
so, but you never know who could maybe show up or be walking around. But that's not why you're coming. But that could happen.
Yeah, actually, Paul McCartney called and he said he wanted to come, and I said, "Nah, the Oakdale can't hold that many people. You have to just play your shows in Jersey and in Brooklyn and all that." The bands are the Hoffners, Penny Lane, Mystery Tour, the Onos, the Wayback Machine, Pat Horgan and Thunder Road, Al Ferrante's Country Gentlemen, Beetlehead, Corporation T-Shirt, Scott Ringle, Fools on the Hill Duo, Wayne Cabral, Jeffrey DeSera, Rotary, The Taxman, Dramatic Turn, Eric Herbst from Dizzy Fish, Tim Palmieri from Beatles A to Z, Double the Dial, Number 9, David Tesler's Prefab Monkeys All-Star Band, and if I forgot anybody, they're going to be there. Of course, Gene Cornish of the Rascals is our special guest of honor. And, you guys are the headliners. There's no doubt the Hoffners, get full billing there. But anyone who comes is going to love every single band and of every single aspect. And it's a great time. I'm not going to say a splendid time is guaranteed for all.
Yeah.
I'll say it's guaranteed to raise a smile.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing I want to say that this man does, which I do like, and is that when the groups are submitting songs, if every band says, I want to do Penny Lane, you'll go, well, this band already called it, so we're not doing it. Or
Twist
whatever.
and Shout.
Yeah.
Every band would end with Twist and Shout if they were given, the opportunity. No, you're right.
And it's not like the Beatles only had a couple songs or a couple albums. And again, I was talking to Bill about this today. So it's nice that, that there's so many they can choose from and all that. Part of me is going to miss doing some of the older stuff, but I'm excited about doing something different where I have to think again and all that, so.
I was going down the list and I noticed I'm not going to tell you which ones, but I noticed there were a few real obvious songs not picked. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to throw it out there to everybody and say, okay, guys.
Good idea.
Yeah, here's a few songs that you really might want to play that you aren't including in the set. And you're right, there was a handful of songs that it seemed everybody wanted to do this year. Hello, Goodbye was one of them. Help was one of them. There was a handful of songs that literally 5 or 6 bands wanted to do. And I said, guys, we're not repeating songs. I gave in a little if a band was on at 1 o'clock and then another band was on at 8 o'clock and there were hours, or if they were outside and inside. Right. But no, we tried it. That's, I think, pretty special to try to get every single band to not replicate a song that another band's doing. Right.
I missed the idea. We didn't do it last year. We were going to do either the last concert the Beatles did, or we were going to do, I think, Tokyo, Japan. I'm going to have to go nuts to try to get some kind of a suit for that, but to replicate that, because the Hoffners had done the Ed Sullivan set.
Correct.
And then a few years ago, when we came out with the Shea Jackets, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
We walked through the field.
It looked great. Walked through the crowd, right?
Yeah, it was great. So the Shea thing really touched me. But
well, what are you going to do next year if we do this festival? Yellow Sub?
I'm going to have to. And the White Album, yeah. Or
you can do the touring show. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
If we do another show, if thousands of people in this listening area come and the show's a success, we'll do it again. It's like a movie. Yeah. If the first one is great, there's going to be a sequel.
Right.
If the event does well and people have a great time and they support it and come, absolutely we'll keep doing it.
We could mention that too. This will be on certain radio stations. So could we throw those out here? Or?
Yeah, it's going to be advertised on radio stations. Sure, there'll be probably articles.
Some write-ups.
In some of the newspapers. Right. I'm going to be I'm going to be interviewed on some radio stations and talking about it. So there's no doubt we're going to publicize as much as we can, because nothing irks me more than after the event, people go, I wish I knew about it. I would have come. Yeah. How come you didn't put it in this paper? Or how come you... There's just so much you can do. There's just so many newspapers you can afford to advertise in, or radio stations you could be on.
What else would you like to say before we finalize everything here today?
Well, I'd like to thank you, Mike, because you have such input into these shows. People don't realize that you are such a big part of every event. And it's not just behind the drum kit for the Hoffners. Mm-hmm. You recommend guests to me. You push me to get dealers. you push me to advertise it.
vendors.
Yeah, you said don't just get a pizza guy and an ice cream guy. Try to get a barbecue guy.
Yeah.
Try to get kettle corn. You really
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
You push me, and you push me to have these events. And I think people don't realize it when they see you on the street. When's Charles going to do another convention? You come back to me immediately and you put it in this ear, and it doesn't come out this ear. It stays there. And you really, that's what people should know, that Mike Strito, who's the host of your show here, and you guys get to see him on TV once in a while, you really have a lot of input. In the old days, you were my news editor. You were my Good Day Sunshine editor. And in the old days, you would help me produce the conventions. And even though you're not a titled producer on the event, gosh, you do probably as much as anybody else next to me for these events.
Thank you very much.
And
I
so
appreciate that.
yeah, people have to know that. And if they don't know anything about me, they know that I probably wouldn't do half the things I do Beatle-wise if you weren't around.
I got to push him to do a Monkeys convention someday.
That's not happening. Not anymore.
Anyways, so again, final. So they want to know about your trips to England, and they want to do the trips to Vegas.
Yep.
We'll run that again.
So for the Beatle tours to Liverpool, the Magical History tours, it's liverpooltours.com, easy enough, www.liverpooltours.com. For this festival, the FAB4 Music Festival, it's www.FAB4, the number 4musicfestival.com. And they can always call us at 203-795-4737. I'm usually there to answer the phone, or Kelly will answer it during business hours. And it's June 10th. It's a Saturday. It happens to be my birthday.
Yeah.
Saturday, June 10th. And there we go. Somebody better play birthday and dedicate it to me. And it's from 1 o'clock till 10 o'clock at the Toyota Oakdale Theater. Under the dome, we're calling it the Pepperland Dome. And outside on the patio, we're calling it the Octopus's Garden Patio.
Cool. Very
10
good.
bands inside, 10 bands outside, nonstop music. Who could ask for anything more? If you're a Beatle fan.
Yeah, I mean, the other great thing is, I know we had years not to look back. We're arranged. So the great thing is, we're protected inside. God forbid, even the groups that are outside, it's a patio. They're covered over, but everything is
it's
mostly
I
inside.
think it's a tented patio. But if it turns out that it's a torrential, God forbid, if it rains and pours, there's a giant convention room that they all come inside. So we have two sets of acts. We have 10 bands inside, 10 bands outside. But if the rain's so hard, we'll move the outside bands inside as well. And we'll have two indoor stages. And we'll also move all the food trucks. We'll bring in the food inside. So that's definitely a plan B if the weather doesn't hold up. Maybe there'll be a whole new, slew of new Beatle fans and a whole new excitement of Beatledom and Beatlemania because of the 50th anniversary of Pepper. I hope so.
And there's a lot of things coming out. We talked about on vinyl. They're going to put out the Pepper with the way it was supposed to be with Penny Lane and
Strawberry Fields.
Strawberry Fields, and there'll probably be a lot of things. And of course, Ringo is touring this year again. McCartney is out there, so there's a lot of things we'll see you at, or we'll bump into people. And
it's a great year for Beatle fans.
It really is. Yeah. So.
Wow.
But anyways, thanks again.
Oh, thank you.
And. Good luck with everything. And as always, I like to end the show and go, peace and love. And we'll see you the next time. Take care. God bless.